What's up, and welcome to the No Bullshit Manifestation Show. I'm your host, Kat Kozad, manifestation expert, money mindset and fulfillment coach, and multiple six-figure entrepreneur. Come sit with me while I spill the real tea on what it's like to practice using intentional manifestation, demystify all of the woo-woo and confusing bullshit that comes along with creating the life of your dreams, and give you a realistic view of what it's like to be on a personal, spiritual, and professional growth journey. The goal of this podcast is to support and guide you towards manifesting all of your dreams, shed light on the things that people are too scared to talk about, and encourage you to become the person who gets to have it all, be it all, and do it all. I am so happy you are here. Let's fucking do this thing. What's up, loves? Welcome back to another episode of the No Bullshit Manifestation Show. Oh my goodness, it is one of my last few days in Colorado before I head over to the UK for 5 weeks. I am going over there for the summer to just spend time with friends and family. For anybody who doesn't know, I am a dual citizen of the UK. My cute little mom is British, and she was able to give me and my brother dual citizenship, which is awesome. But I haven't been over to the UK in 7 years, which feels so crazy because I connect with my cousins all the time and with my family that lives over there, and they know from social media how much has changed in my life. But I literally haven't seen them since I was 19 years old, which feels like a freaking lifetime ago. And I'm just so excited for that. And I also get to meet all of my incredible UK clients and just the incredible soul sisters that I've made through online relationships, and I'm so excited. So I will be podcasting from the UK and giving you all of the updates. But what I want to talk about on today's podcast episode is something that majority of the women that I am talking to right now have been going through and experiencing, and I think it's something that globally is really going on because there's been this mass awakening of the fact that we don't have to live our lives in a way that is unfulfilling and work jobs that we hate, but really learning how to step into this position of understanding what it is that you want to do. Like, what is the career path that you want to take? What is the direction that you want to go with your life? And how can you put your passion and put your energy into a place that's going to allow you to feel completely fulfilled, but also compensate you in the way that will allow you to live the big, beautiful life that you want to live. So today's podcast episode, like you can see from the title, is what to do when you don't know what to do. And this is all about manifesting that ideal job, that career path, that business, whatever it is uniquely for you in your life that is going to allow you to bring in a fuck ton of money while also being fulfilled and in a position of power for yourself. So to kick this off, I want to share my past experience with getting to where I am today with owning and running my dream business, having the No Bullshit Manifestation Show, having my programs, doing the coaching that I do, because if you've been here, you know that the podcast isn't even a year old, and I have only been doing this for 2.5 years. And prior to that, I've been working since the age of 14. So growing up, my dad was a chef and my mom worked in retail. And so I was super drawn to the food and beverage industry because it was something that I understood from my dad. And my mom's brother, my uncle, who I'm actually going over to see in the UK, had an incredible award-winning fish and chip restaurant. And during the summers, I would go over to the UK and work for him, first as a dishwasher, and then evolved into being a server and bartender and all of that good stuff. But as I was growing up, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. They always say that growing up, you have an idea of what you want to do. Like, you want to be a doctor, you want to be a nurse, you want to be a dentist, you want to be, I don't know why I'm only listing medical things right now. You want to be a lawyer, you want to be XYZ, any of these like big traditional jobs that we are taught, which are all incredible jobs if you are one of those things and if you love it. But we're not really taught a lot of the options that are out there. So from a young age, I always felt super confused as to like what I actually wanted to do. And in school, when they asked us like what we wanted to be when we grew up, I would always say the Queen of England because, you know, queen energy over here. But with that, I went into the end of high school and like when we're traditionally supposed to go to college, very confused. And everybody in the last year of high school, my senior year of high school, was like, you'll figure it out. Just go to college. You'll figure it out. And that felt stupid to me. I was like, why the fuck am I going to go to college if I don't know what I want to do? And I was told multiple times that it would be like a waste of who I was and my smarts if I didn't get a further education. And I hated that. So I took a year off of school. But eventually I fell into believing that that limiting belief was true, that if I didn't get a further education, then it would be a waste of my smarts and who I was as a person. And I decided to go to college for communications. And after a semester of college for communications, I fucking hated it. I was partying my ass off all of the time. I wasn't showing up to classes. I was still getting A's because it felt so easy and it felt as though it was something that like I really didn't have to put any energy or effort into. It really didn't challenge me. So I ended up dropping out because college just wasn't for me. But that belief after dropping out of college was that I was going to have to struggle and that I was going to have to get jobs that I didn't actually want to work because I didn't have a degree that could lead me to doing the things that I wanted. So once I dropped out of college, I went into the food and beverage industry. I was also in the food and beverage industry when I was in college. I was doing like barista jobs, working at a cafeteria. And then I became the assistant catering director of a really cool company that did awesome events for like music festivals and bike tours and stuff like that. And that was fun for a while, but then ultimately I ended up moving and ended up being a hostess, a server, a bartender, and an assistant general manager of a restaurant in Denver. And I did that for years, but within that, I always felt called to more. I always wanted more than that experience. And I didn't think that I could have more because of the limiting beliefs that I had about myself from dropping out of college. And so I, at one point, decided to quit that job and try to start my own freelance photography business. And I was only able to run the freelance photography business for like 2 months before I ran out of money and ultimately went back to asking for my old job and starting to serve tables again. And then a few months into being back at the restaurant, I was still super unfulfilled and I decided to take out $30,000 to go to a coding immersive program to become a web developer. Even though I had never coded before in my life, I didn't even like coding. I didn't really understand it. I just wanted to have like a stable 9-to-5 job with benefits and 2 weeks paid vacation because literally that's what the world tells us we can have. And so I took out this $30,000, went to this coding immersive program, and I haven't coded a day in my life since. And inevitably, I ended up applying to over 300 jobs, only getting 2 interviews, only 1 interview that went to the final round, got turned down for it, went back to working in the food and beverage industry. At that point, I was asked to move to help one of my friends at the time open a restaurant from the ground up, and went and did that. And that was my tipping point. That was the final point where I was like, I can't fucking do this anymore. I can't be in an industry that I am not passionate about. I cannot be slaving away to make minimum wage, not even be making enough money to pay my bills and survive. And that's when I finally was like, something has to fucking change for me. And this is where I see a lot of the women that I end up working with in this position. I see them in this place where they're so burnt out. They are so over whatever it is that they are in right now. And they don't know what the next step is for them. And they don't know if there's anything else that they can do because, one, they either don't have a degree, or two, they have a degree, but it's in a specific thing and they feel as though they can't transition or pivot into something else. And what I am here to say and share with you is the exact process that I took to really start to call on this universal guidance to create and manifest this new opportunity for myself, which is now obviously manifestation coaching, life coaching, doing everything that I do, because this is something that I never thought I would do. If you would have told me at any age, honestly, like 21, 22, 23, beginning of being 23, that I was going to be a manifestation coach, I would have been like, haha, you're fucking hilarious. What does that even mean? And like, how am I going to do that because I'm a college dropout? But the thing is like, we create our realities. It doesn't matter if you feel as though you are not qualified for something, or you feel as though there's no options out there for you, or whatever it is that you are stuck in right now. You create your reality. And when you start to open yourself up to the fact and the potential that there is opportunity for you everywhere, then you will start to attract and manifest opportunity into your life. So when I was in this position, I was working 60 plus hours a week in this job that I absolutely hated, not making enough money to survive. And every single night before I went to sleep, I decided to connect with the universe. I decided to have these conversations with the universe and really just start to build that connection, because I was still fairly new into the world of manifestation and I had a connection to the universe, but I didn't really understand what my connection to the universe was like at that time. So I just really started to have these conversations with the universe where I would say, universe, guide me towards whatever it is that will allow me to have time freedom, location freedom, financial freedom, making at least $10,000 a month, and allow me to fulfill my purpose. Allow me to feel fulfilled in what I am doing every single day. And like I said, I had absolutely no clue what that was. I had no clue that I was going to be a manifestation coach. But as I started to ask the universe to guide me towards that, all of these incredible synchronicities started to show up in my life. So first manifestation coach showed up in my life. I had absolutely no clue that manifestation coaching was a thing. But this manifestation coach like binged my profile. She liked all of my Instagram posts. She sent me a message. And so I looked at hers and saw that she was a manifestation coach, looked up manifestation coaching and realized it wasn't even a thing. And felt as though it was very synchronistic. I was like, okay, well, like I've been asking the universe for signs of guidance and like this randomly showed up in my life. So that's super cool. Still at that point, had no clue that I was going to be a manifestation coach. But as I continued to follow my intuition and follow these intuitive pulls inside of myself, which thus kept guiding me towards more and more information about manifestation, the law of attraction, doing the inner work, healing, all of these different things, I felt so lit up by it. And because I felt so lit up by it, I started to share about it on my Instagram. And I was just sharing stories, talking about my own personal experience, talking about how manifestation was changing my life. And through sharing my story on my Instagram, it was just to people from like my hometown and like the people that I had met in like the years growing up that had followed me on Instagram. But the message that I was sharing really started to hit home with a lot of the people who followed me. And through that, I had so many people reaching out to me saying like, oh my gosh, this is incredible, Kat. Like, you're doing such amazing things. Can you teach me about this? And I started to teach people about it. I started to share even more, create different guides, whatnot, to help people with manifestation. And I had the intuitive hit as I was helping all of these people of like, oh my God, like what if this is what I'm supposed to be doing as well? And so I had no clue. I was scared shitless. I had already failed a business before in the past, and I decided to book a call with a business coach. And I was so scared for this call with the business coach because it was actually starting to get real. It like actually felt as though if I said yes to this, then like this was the path that I was going to walk down. And so I went for a walk before the call with this business coach. And I asked the universe for a sign of guidance. I said, universe, if this is what I'm supposed to do, if I am supposed to be a manifestation coach, if I'm supposed to go all in on this experience, send me a sign of guidance. And I went on this walk and I didn't receive any sign of guidance as I was on it. And right as I got back to the place that I was living at the time, literally walking into my gate, I looked up and there was a black cat sitting on the post. And at the exact same time, the song Gravity Rides Everything by Modest Mouse came through my AirPods and into my ears. And I got full body chills because if you do not know this, which I don't think anybody on the podcast actually does, because I don't think I've talked about it, just the ladies inside of my academy who know this, but two of my most major signs of guidance are black cats, that's one of my spirit guides, and the song Gravity Rides Everything by Modest Mouse. That is like one of the biggest signs of guidance, one of the biggest telltales of like I am on the right path or what I am asking for is in alignment with my truth. And when both of those things happen simultaneously, I was like, okay, I have no clue what this is going to look like. And I'm so fucking scared, but I'm going to do it anyways. And so I got on the call with the business coach and I invested $10,000 that I didn't have into business coaching. And I did not sleep for over 48 hours because I was so fucking scared about the fact that I had just made this decision. But within 3 months of starting my business, I ended up hitting my first 10K month in business. And I haven't seen a month less than 10K since. And as you know, if you listen to the podcast, it's like my business has just exploded from that point. And I truly believe it's because this is what is so in alignment with my purpose and my passion, because I was willing in that moment where I was so done with my old life. I was so done with the food and beverage industry. I was so done with the job that I was in, to instead of trying to control and force and find something else, I was truly just in this place of like, I fucking surrender. Like, I surrender, universe, please guide me. Guide me towards whatever it is that is going to bring me this level of passion and fulfillment that I desire inside of my life. That will give me that time freedom, give me that location freedom, give me that financial freedom. And that's exactly what I've been led to. So for all of you that are out there, the reason I share this story is because you can do the same exact thing. And what I encourage you to do is, instead of, like I said, trying to control, trying to think about and force and look for other jobs when you are frustrated with what you're in right now, it's like, allow yourself to be led, allow yourself to be guided, allow yourself to be in the position that you are surrendering. You're not trying to force an outcome, and you really are just tuning into your intuition, your inspiration, into the signs of guidance from the universe, and into the synchronicities that are always here and trying to guide us throughout our daily life. And so for you, it may look different than what I just said. Maybe your most important things aren't time freedom, location freedom, financial freedom, and doing something that fulfills your purpose. But if those are, then like use that same exact wording, use those same exact things that I said, and would have that conversation with the universe of being like, universe, guide me towards whatever it is that will give me that time freedom, give me that location freedom, give me that financial freedom, making whatever amount of money that you want to make as your minimum a month, and also allow me to fulfill my purpose, my passion, and make me feel like the best version of myself on a daily basis. because the universe is always saying yes to us. Whether you are aware of it or not, every single thing that we say to ourselves, the universe is saying yes to. So if you are saying, I'm stuck, I'm trapped, I can't do anything else, the universe is saying, okay, cool, gonna let you do that then. So then if you're saying, universe, please guide me, support me, love me, show me the way to XYZ, to whatever it is that you want in your life, the universe is going to be like, hell yeah, girl, I got you. Let me show you the way. Let me step in. Let me support you inside of this. But when we have this like constant feeling that we need to be in control and force and push and do, which like if you feel that way, it's not your fault. Like we've been so fucking conditioned to be that way, especially in America, that like we constantly have to be in this state of control and forcing and making things happen. It's like, no, fucking surrender. Like allow the universe to support you. We have so much universal intelligence around us at all moments, infinite universal intelligence around us at all moment, and it wants to help us and it wants to support us. But when we feel as though we have to be the one who is fully in control all the time, calling all the shots, making everything happen, then we're really going to limit ourselves. And so get clear on what are the most important things for you. Is it the time freedom? Is it the location freedom? Is it the financial freedom? Maybe one of those things doesn't matter to you. Maybe location freedom doesn't matter to you. So just figure out like what are the 3 to 4 core things that matter to you in what you are wanting to have for your career, for your business, for whatever it is that you end up manifesting, and get super focused on those things and get super open to asking the universe to support you inside of that manifestation, because it absolutely will. And so instead of spending like all of your time trying to figure out like what jobs can I apply to, what can I do, what do I need so that I can make X, Y, and Z happen in my life, it's like, don't even think about the job. Think about like what brings you joy, what brings you passion, what did you love the most as a kid? And it's so funny for me now looking back at the fact after I've manifested this incredible business and the universe guided me directly to it, it's like if I could have heard this podcast episode back then, and if somebody could have said to me like, Kat, like don't fucking think about like what can make you money, think about what did you love? What brought you so much joy as a kid? What is the thing that you could do for hours and hours? What is the thing that you could do for free? And like, what are the things that you do for free that you love? What are you naturally inclined to do in your life? For me, it's always been people. Literally, it's so funny, especially like after being home these past few weeks, listening to like my mom and my dad share stories about me from when I was a kid. Oh my God, I wish I could meet little me. She sounds like a fucking riot. But it's always been people. I've just always loved people. I've always wanted to make people laugh. I've always wanted to make people smile, to connect with them, to go deeper with them, to see them on such a deep level, even when I was a little kid. My mom told me this story about how literally we would go to restaurants over in England and I would tell her that I was getting up to go to the bathroom. And then like 30 minutes later, they'd be like, oh shit, where's Kit Kat? And they'd look around the restaurant that we were in. And like, I would just be off sitting with other tables and talking to other people. And my mom would like run up and be like, oh my God, I am so sorry. Like my daughter, this and that. And they're like, oh, you have nothing to be sorry for. Like this little girl just made our day. And so it's incredible to like recognize that like our souls, they have the answers for us. We have all of these answers inside of ourselves already of what is going to bring us the most purpose, passion, and fulfillment. But we're so tuned out to it when we've had to follow this prescribed path of what is going to make us happy, or what is going to make us successful, or what is going to help us get to the place that we're quote unquote supposed to be based off of societal standards, which like majority of the time, especially in the US, is like you grow up, You go to high school, you go to college, you get a career, you find a person to get married to, you settle down, you buy a house, and that's what you do for the rest of your life. And if you're happy doing that, I'm so happy for you. But I know that majority of the women that I work with and the majority of the women that I talk to, they've either followed that prescribed path or they feel as though they never fit into that path, and that they've either been trying to check the boxes anyways, or they checked all the boxes and it never gave them what they wanted. So if that has been you, you've checked all of the boxes and it never gave you what you want, or you felt as though you never fit into the prescribed path in the first place, let this be a guide to you to really know that there is an alternative way. Like, y'all, if I can do it, you can do it. Like I've said, I'm a college dropout. And instead of holding a negative connotation around that and thinking that is something that is bad and wrong with me, I now see that as my fucking superpower. That I decided to break out of the prescribed path early on. And I've allowed myself to fuck up and have all of these failures and try out all of these different things, the coding school, the business, going back to my old serving job so many times, going to open up that restaurant and like everything just crumbling. Like, it's okay to have those moments where it feels as though you failed, to feel as though like you didn't do quote unquote the right thing, because the only way we can get to the right thing is if we allow ourselves to fail. Your willingness to fail is going to be directly correlated to your ability to succeed, because we can't have one without the other. So it's okay. Go out there, make mistakes, fuck up, try things, explore, tap into your passions, see what sticks. But don't feel as though there's nothing else for you, or that you have to force yourself into another pattern, into another box that doesn't fit you. The universe is always trying to guide and support you towards whatever it is that you desire in your life. So allow the universe to fucking support you. It's truly, like, allow the universe to support you in all of this. So that is what I have for you today on the podcast. If you are in this position that we've been talking about on the podcast, where you want to figure out this path, you want the clarity, you want the understanding of like, what is this next step in your life? I want to encourage you to apply to the Abundant AF Babe Academy, because this is one of the biggest things that we focus on inside of the Abundant AF Babe Academy, is helping you really step into that place of authenticity and truth and knowing and trust inside of yourself, so that you can be guided and you can be led to the thing that is not only going to bring you that level of fulfillment that we've been talking about, but also help you make a fuck ton of money doing it. So the link to apply to the Abundant AF Babe Academy is going to be down below in the show notes. But yeah, that's what I got for you. I'm sending you all of my love, and I will chat with you on the next episode. Oh my gosh, thank you for listening to today's episode. I'm so grateful to have these no bullshit talks with you. If you enjoyed today's episode or the podcast as a whole, please spread the love by leaving me a review on iTunes or sharing the podcast with others. This is how I will be able to spread more of these good vibes and be able to make more of an impact on the lives of others. And if you're not already part of all of the goodness and communities that I have to offer, check out the show notes. I have links to the different ways that I can support you on your manifestation journey and help you live a life full of more money, fulfillment, and freedom. But that is all for now. So big love and hugs, and I will chat with you soon, babe.